Hey guys, thank you so much and welcome to the Game Your Future podcast. So, we're all about helping gamers realize their full potential. And today I have Jon Agram is our guest today, biomedical engineer, electrical engineer, and has used video games to help with his mental health over I guess the last 10 plus years. He said, guys, and it's so powerful how games can help us in multiple different ways. So, Jon, thank you so much and welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. The last couple of weeks have been crazy, but I'm here sane now and ready to talk to you guys.
Awesome, cool. So tell us a little bit about the biomedical engineer field and how that kind of relates to video games. So
Sure.
I guess what happened? Tell us your journey as far as finding video games and how that's helped you.
Awesome. So right outside of high school, I joined the military, and I my father is an electrical engineer and my mom is an OB/GYN surgeon. So long story short, after I did my naval career and living in Japan, going to Akihabara, playing video games on my Dreamcast, play on my PS1 and my PS2, on the boat in a little room, in my little shop, having access to any video game in the world living in Japan, it basically calmed me down and it actually guided me professionally and personally through interrelationship relationships with people who are Japanese, who are Chinese, who are Asian in general. It kept me sane while I was overseas for 5.5 years before I came back to the States. Um, Expanding on that, after I left the Navy, coming here, it was a culture shock and playing video games, coming from, in the United States, it's NTSC and they have J and PAL overseas. There was an incompatibility issue at the time. Not that there is one now, because, for example, in Nintendo Switch games, you could buy a game in Taiwan, which I just came from, and you could play it on an American Switch. It's all the same. But I
Yep.
needed that connection with electronics or the connection with medical world, you know, and that's how I became a medical engineer. The ongoing journey with my family is that my mom, like I said before, my dad is an engineer, my mom is a gynae nurse, and they had a baby, and they had me, electrical healthcare engineer.
There you go.
So
It
there you
worked out
go.
perfect, right?
And yeah, and just video games in general, playing on my Game Boy Color, my Game Boy Advance, my Game Gear, you name those handhelds, those Game and
Oh yeah.
Watch. I've
All the way back in the Game and Watch too. I had some of
yeah,
those too.
I still have
The
those.
Tiger Electronics ones.
Yes, Street Fighter,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Tecmo Bowl.
Yep.
I still have those. They're still in a box in my storage. But those kept me sane and gave me the dexterity of what I do now as an electrical engineer. So that's
And
one
that's
of
awesome. Yeah, I wanted to explore more on that as far as being an electrical engineer, you got to so say working with your hands and too.
yeah,
So the dexterity, right? So that's one thing that it might seem obvious, but I guess a lot of us don't, as gamers, maybe necessarily see that we can pull
mhm,
out of gaming is that say like you have this hand-eye coordination, right?
correct.
Being a gamer.
Correct.
So what are some examples about how you've had to be more dexterous
Okay.
or
I'll give
in
you
your job and how that compares to, I guess, other people in your field that maybe
mhm.
didn't play video games.
So I'll give you a prime example. There is a game out there, and it's still out there, Step Mania, where you use your feet, right? And there is a other version of that called Beat Mania for the keyboard and a spin table. And there was also the finger version of it. I can't forgot the name of it all of a sudden. It's not Beat Mania. It's another version of Dance Dance Revolution
Mhm.
on the keyboard on a computer. And knowing reading that left and right, playing Guitar Hero, playing Beat Mania, playing DDR, you need all that
I think
hand
Rock Band was
eye.
another big one at
Rock
the
Band was
time.
a big
Yep.
one, yeah. All those video music games, Taiko Drum Master,
Yep.
I still have
The fun
that.
one.
I mean, still got that. Those games actually, work with your hands and your hand and eye, and you got beat in time. If you're not doing it in time, you get a fail or you get a bad or a miss, and it makes you look bad in front of all these people. So if you play bad in the arcade, they're going to laugh at you, especially Japanese people for sure are going to laugh at you. Like, hey, you suck, you're an American. So that's actually, got me better with my being dexterous that I am, getting better at my job, doing soldering wires, putting modules together, dealing with patients in the laboratory, making concoctions together. It all works out in the end. So without video games, I wouldn't be doing my job as nimble as I can do now. I mean, I deal with very small, intricate plumbing, hydraulics, pneumatics, wiring, name it, I'm there. But nowadays, in the electrical engineering world, most stuff is not down to a component level. It's down to a card level. You just pick the card out and you pop it back in. It's more cost effective to replace a board versus replacing a part. It's just
Yep.
that's just the way it is. And with the cost of semiconductors now and the whole Asian tariff thing with Trump's administration, it's so much easier to do that.
Oh, for sure. So what I think is interesting, so what you mentioned as far as the having that dexterity for doing all these kind of small movement. I know like some of the electronics might not require as much anymore, but especially like the fluid stuff too, and like making sure that
Yes.
you put everything correctly because measurements matter, right, for
Right.
these kind of things.
Exactly.
So to the other question, so how have you noticed, I guess your performance and your kind of dexterity level versus like say your peers? So I understand it's probably like kind of a learned skill that other people can develop over time. But I
Right.
guess how did you see kind of the two part, like how do you compare now to them for those kind of
Yeah.
experience or versus how you started out? Like, did you have that leg up, I guess, ahead of time?
There is a video game out there, and I think everyone knows it. It's called Metal Gear Solid, right?
Oh, yeah, I
And
love that one.
in the game, Snake eats a diazepam, which controls your nerves, right? I don't know
Hmm.
if you remember this from the video game. And I, being that I'm in the medical field, I can get diazepam back in the day working in the hospitals. So I'm like, let me see if my friends can do some basic Radio Shack, put a circuit together, very, very tiny. And it was just an ongoing trip with my friends, and they couldn't do it without diazepam. And I'm here just like, and this is easy, no problem. So for me, doing electrical work is a no brainer. I mean, you give me a schematic, follow the tracing. If it's good in, bad out, follow it back where it's good, and you can find it out. Oh, it's that wire, it's that transistor, it's that capacitor or what inductor or whatever it is. I can fix in the problem. If I give it to some random Joe Schmo in back in when I was in college and they had no experience during lab practicals, they would literally like struggle bus it. Where I'm like, I'm done, professor. This is easy. So I mean, I could see it when with my friends when they ask me like, "Hey, John, my beat or my speaker is broken. Can you fix it?" Or my TV is broken. My computer is broken. Can you fix it? I'm like, "Sure, no problem." And they're trying to put a computer together and they can't because they don't know how to like read a schematic or they can't follow directions. Where I'm like, okay, this is easy. Just give me the instructions. I'll do it. So even like building with Lego, I mean, like I was telling you in the pre-work of this conversation, that I can just look at a schematic, read something, put it together, no problem. Whereas my peers, they take forever. I'm like in speed competitions, for Lego building, I'm like, you guys are like 5 pages behind and I'm like halfway done already. Do you need help? So I would go help
Wow.
my friends or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I actually help kids out through the STEM program um, at the local high schools here. I've been a big advocate with working with Lego with kids, working with people who have like dexterity problems, who are socially inept, who are, introverts. I get them out of their shell, talk to them. Like, a lot of people need that human interaction versus talking to an AI. So here I am showing these kids, showing adults how to like build correctly, how things work together and me showing them like I'm confident in what I'm doing and they're not confident. I mean, and I give them that confidence that they're doing something correct, and in the end when they build it correctly, for example this little infinity cube, I
Mhm.
built, whatever, they're like, oh, I get it now, I figured it out, like, and it gives me that warm fuzzy feeling that I taught someone how to fish versus just giving them a fish and they can
Yep.
share that knowledge to somebody else.
That's fantastic. That's really cool. So so it's not just, yeah, and I love what you brought up there. It's like it's not just the, I'll call it the hard skills of like just the dexterity, being able to do the traces, to be able to do the soldering work.
Yeah.
It's also some of these soft skills, right? And you mentioned Lego, and that's what I love about, doing this and this podcast too, is that we focus on video games, but it really
Mhm.
at its core, I love helping people like with their passions, right? Whatever
Right.
their passions, their hobbies,
Mhm.
and so to the tune of video games for us gamers, it's like, well, you play games and you get skills, but it's really any hobby. And that's what I'd like
Yeah,
to, for the listeners out there, is whether, depending on what game you play or even what hobby you have, like whether it's,
exactly.
Lego, like you're saying, like there's so many skills that you develop that are just
Mhm.
so helpful. And like you even mentioned the like the social aspect of it,
Yeah.
right? As far
Mhm.
as just simply connecting with people, like you can
Right.
connect with so well with just any kind of hobby. And what I love about video games too is like, and you mentioned like something like Metal Gear Solid, right? And we can have this conversation and we're kind of connected on this because, and that's a single player game,
Right.
but we all
Mhm.
had different, experiences playing the game. So it's like, what
Right.
did you find interesting? What did you find hard or easier?
Mhm.
And it's just so fantastic to me that like the sense of connection that you get from video games, even single player, right? Like
Right.
I especially enjoy like the RPGs, and for those watching behind me, you see some like kind of Final Fantasy
Yeah. I'm a
paraphernalia.
Final Fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, largely with the exception of like the two MMOs, like, of the 15 plus games that they have now, right?
Right.
Most of them are single player.
Exactly. I mean, I played Final Fantasy 14. I played Elder Scrolls Online. I played WoW. I raged quit because I am predominantly as a medical person. I am a healer,
Yep.
and I hate when people step in the fire. So I'm like,
Classic. Yep.
right, learn your job, learn the fight, watch the videos. People have done it on YouTube so many times. Watch it on Twitch. So when we go in there, progression. Oh, we're doing progression today.
Yep.
Like, oh, this stupid DPS is doing not on the right spot, or my husband
The,
plays Lost Ark, and they're like, oh, he's like yelling at the computer. I'm like, this
the
is in the
the
button.
classic meme, I
No.
can't heal stupid. Like
Exactly. I'm like, why are you overhealing? I'm like, because people are
this, you will
dumb.
die.
They'll die. And then they look at the charts. So like my online name for WoW is Jahibukai, means merciless. I'm like, yeah, you overhealed. I'm like, not my problem. I mean, I can't heal stupid.
Yep.
You stand right from the tank. I'm like, you're supposed to be behind a rock, and the rock blows up. And when Garuda blows that wind, you're supposed to move. We say move left, and you move right, and you die. I'm like, I can't save you.
Yep.
So like,
Oh, that's
things like
fantastic.
that. Mhm.
So I wanted to ask more on the especially the biomedical front, and the especially like games that you have kind of resonated with. I'm kind of
Sure.
curious too, just from your perspective in that field, with
Mhm.
electrical engineering and
Yeah,
biomedical, like what are the games that really speak to you as like this is really cool, interesting, or that even have helped you?
sure. Surgeon Simulator VR.
Surgeon Simulator. Okay.
I will give a heads up to that. There is an indie game. I think it's called. I look at my Switch. It's called an Operation Simulator or whatever. Um, there's the Operation Trauma that was on the Wii. There is a version of it on the Switch. Um, what other doctor games are out there? Those are I can just think of the top of my head that
Hmm.
I played over and over and over and over, and to this day I still play. Um, there isn't really other than Dexterous, like Tetris and other games like that show medical engineering. But talking about Final Fantasy, Blitzball is a good example of that. Jackshot 2.
Oh yeah,
So
I love Jack
yeah,
Shot.
but,
And that's, I know, maybe divisive among some fans, but that's, yeah,
yeah,
I'm definitely a Blitzball fan. I know that
there you
not
go.
everybody is.
Go Orox, right?
Go
And
Aurochs, yep.
yes, and like getting Lulu's 100 Lightning Strike. You know,
Oh my
I
gosh.
cheated that with my Game Genie. I'm like, this is bull. I can't do this. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm at 85. Don't
Don't
do it. Don't
don't
mess
mess
up.
up. Don't mess up. Don't,
Mess up.
and then of
I'm like,
course, yeah,
94.
hated that too. I hated that too.
Yeah, stuff
Good
like
old
that.
Final Fantasy X. Yep.
Even like the new Final Fantasy Rebirth. You have to do these stupid mini games,
Oh
and
yeah,
you have to.
mini game hell and that
Oh
one. Yep.
God, I'm like I rage quit. Integrate Rebirth because like I'm a completionist personally. So like if I can't do them now, nor do I don't have the patience anymore to do the stupid mini games to get, the gold medal or whatever, to get, that stupid bracelet or whatever it is, the mule charm or whatever it is. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, if I was back in high school and I had no job, yeah, but now like I have responsibilities, so I don't have time to do that. But I can see where like this dexterity comes in. For now, as we grow older, we don't have that much dexterity as when we were a kid. We're now focused, hyped up on caffeine. But that's where dexterity comes from. Like you have to do these over and over and over until you get it. It's in muscle memory. So just like any of like the surgeon games I've done or any other hospital or operation trauma stuff like that. It's just doing it over and over and over until you master it, until you get that platinum star on that video game or whatever that case is within in game, and you get your reward. So that's what I
Absolutely.
strive for. Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense because I think it's that level of practice, right? That especially as kids, we have a lot more time, a lot more free time. So like the more we play games as kids, it's like the more we've built up this ability, right? Whether
Yes.
it's the dexterity, and sure we might lose some over time, but it's amazing to me how much we retain and how much it's so ingrained that when you start. And so for those watching, like if you're doing something that you find easy,
Mhm.
don't understand why other people are just lagging behind or take too long to get to where you are. It's like,
Exactly.
well, it's because that's what you've practiced, like that's your superpower. Like whether
Mhm.
the fun quote I've heard is that for everyone that's like us normal people out there, I guess we're not
Right.
all like superheroes, but like
Mhm.
your superpower never feels like your superpower because to you it's
Exactly.
just normal, to you it's
Normal.
innate, right?
It's just some mundane thing we have. Like, I'll give you another prime example. Like, I also play the piano and I teach piano as well. So
Mhm.
that's another part of my dexterous background that I have. So I'll even the music things within game, in Final Fantasy Rebirth and Intergrade and whatever and remake, like I can play the official songs on the piano and I'm playing it on the piano or I'm playing it in the game. I'm like, I can one shot that because I know how to play it in my head and I know how to play it already. So those are easy, but like the Chocobo games, the sit up game. I'm like, oh, it sucks. I'm like, yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean, there are perks, having multi levels of dexterity and different things. But when I play these like the games that I already played in the past, Blitzball, the piano part, that comes easy. So, but regardless of age, one has to be dexterous in any shape or form. I mean, opening a can, opening a bottle, stuff of that nature. Not just doing my
yeah,
own
just
stuff.
even simple things. Yeah, absolutely.
We take that for granted, until you lose that ability.
Yep.
So,
And I guess
mhm,
one of the last topics I want to get onto that you mentioned I thought was really interesting. This idea of that, okay, so now as we get older, we have less free time, we have more priorities that we have to manage. So maybe we play less, but with that time that we have, we're more focused, right, on
correct.
what we want to do. We want to achieve these specific goals. So I guess I'm curious, like, what, yeah, you mentioned a little bit, but like I'd like to expand, like, how does that worked with video games for you as far as like are you still able to play and enjoy what you want to do, and just like what does that mean as far as
Okay.
being more focused with less time?
So with the last 10 that I have, okay, for example, right now, I mean, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? I played the crap out of Valhalla. I 150% that game, got every DLC, got every single thing on the map, got all the stupid scrolls, got everything you can think of. But now I'm like, I gotta put it on really easy mode, and like I gotta change all the settings, make it really easy so I can just like breeze right through it. I don't have time to put it in extreme hard mode and like we turn a corner and they're gonna find you and they instant kill you. Where I'm like, I try to enjoy video games now, but it's more of a struggle and more of a chore now because I'm older and I got responsibilities. If I was, much younger in high school, I didn't have a care in the world, I would sit there and do it on hard mode. But I still enjoy video games, but it's more of, I wouldn't say as a de-stressor, it's a distressor to a point where like I want to get more done in the game because I have this much amount of time. But like I said, I'm a completionist. I want to get everything done the first time. I do not want to go back and like, oh crap, I forgot that one thing in this chest up here. I forgot to get that
Oh yeah,
wood,
the
the metal.
missables especially.
Yeah. So
Those are the
yeah,
worst. Yeah.
yeah, and even though I mean now, back in the day, I call strategy guides tech mechs. That's the naval term, technical manuals.
Nice.
Behind me, I have a whole stack load of technical manuals. I don't play a video game without a technical manual. For example, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, and have it, yeah, because I know I've definitely, and I don't know if we can see it here, but there's definitely some strategy guides,
Yeah,
maybe under some of the books that I have there. But yeah, absolutely, definitely had the
yeah.
strategy guides. There
So
was
like for
especially a
example,
time.
yeah. For
Oh,
like for digital switch online, I was on the plane, having Wi-Fi. So I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna play Golden Sun. So like I have my Golden Sun strategy guys with me, and I'm like marking everything, my Pokedexes, everything. I still have them all. I am like 100% completionist. If I don't complete it all, I get angry. In the new Suikoden game, I have to have all 108 characters. I have to make multiple saves. I gotta have all of it.
yep.
Looking at the game facts, and they changed it. And I'm like, it's not called pot. It's called the new money term is like posh or something. And it used to be gone in the other
Yeah,
game. I'm like,
it's crazy things they
don't
change,
mess
and
with
you're
my
like, why?
childhood. Yeah, don't mess with my childhood. Please stop. Like even with Brilliant Diamond and Diamond or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. They're changing everything up, and I'm like, just don't mess with my
Just
childhood.
like, what are you doing? Yeah,
No, like yeah,
completely
I
understand.
mean, it's like
But
yeah. So
and there
yeah,
was
go ahead.
definitely that time, especially, I guess it was, I guess what the, yeah, everywhere from like from the 80s to like definitely at least the mid 90s up to 2000. Like, yeah, you kind of, you had to have a strategy. It was like,
Yes,
before
Zelda.
slash the infancy of the internet, where like you could, there was no YouTube, there was no
Yeah,
game facts, there was
that's a
nothing.
read
It's like, well,
entirely.
you better buy the strategy guide or you have no idea what's
Yeah.
happening. Like,
And I still miss like strategy guides to today. I mean, I wish Assassin's Creed Shadows had a strategy guide, even Valhalla, or even like any other new video games that they don't have strategy guides. All we do now is check YouTube or GameFAQs, and sometimes GameFAQs is obsolete, or it's not complete, or it's unedited. Sort of like you don't know. So being now like Shadows is out. I'm like, okay, I gotta find these skulls in the city, and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to strategy or a map where it's like scroll through a YouTube video, pause it, get to that point in the game, go there. Okay, I gotta turn my camera, then I go follow this person. And it takes more
following
time.
the video walkthroughs. Oh yeah,
From
it's like,
IGN is a nightmare.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where I had to get all 1,000 of those stupid Korok seeds. I
Yeah.
missed two of them. I don't know where I have not
And you're
any.
like, who knows where? Like where?
I marked
It
them on my
takes
map
forever to find it. Yeah.
on IGN. I'm like, I thought I got them. And I'm not going to search for 1,000 seats again. I'm like, no.
No.
Or a golden poop, not worth it.
Yeah. And the developers are like, you're not supposed to do this. So here's your
Yeah,
too
exactly.
funny. This has been fantastic. So John, I kind of like to wrap it up here, but before we go, I definitely have a couple questions before we wrap up. So I guess what is, I guess, the one piece of advice you would have for gamers looking to utilize their skills, especially around something like dexterity, and just like what would you say to those that are like, I don't know if my skills playing video games is actually worthwhile?
Well, I'll tell like even if people who watch streamers or even YouTubers or even TikTokers or even Instagrammers, be blessed that you have hands or mouth or whatever you do. If you play Drum Mania or Beat Mania, Sleep Mania, whatever game it is, you have that ability to use it. Work on those skills. And luckily for enough for me, my dexterity has led me into positions in my professional career to be an electrical engineer, to be a biomedical engineer, to do these critical, small, little, minute things that pay my bills, that make me live
Yeah.
comfortably. Um, if you think you're struggling with it, just keep working at it. I mean, you'll get better. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes better practice. Just like the piano, just like Lego, you just keep doing it over and over and over again until you think you got it and you know that you could be 99% confident in what you do. You can never be 100, always 99% confident. Mhm.
Love it. Yeah. So you're never perfect, but you can always get better. I love
Always
that.
get better. Mhm.
Great. And then last question for you, John. What is your favorite video game?
Oh, God. Okay. As of right now, as we're speaking, Star Ocean, second story.
Oh, nice.
The reason, not the remake, the
Yeah, not the
original
remake, but
PS2.
uh-huh.
The reason being is that Claude and Rena and their stories, and there's like 11 characters, and there's 88 endings. On my PS2, I have the two true endings of both of them,
Wow.
unscathed. So I'm like not cheating with the Game Genie or a Game Shark. I fought all the way through, did all the PA's personal or private actions,
Hmm.
T in all the strategy guides. I have 100% ending. The voice collection, if you play the PS2 version, if you have all 100, you'll see a sine wave or a wave of when the sound plays, or your sound collection. Have every single one of them.
Wow, that's awesome.
200 plus hours of doing that game, but two different game cards.
That's awesome, John. Love it. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to learn more about how you can use your video game skills as transferable skills to help you in your careers, definitely drop me a line and or check out the website at dragonmorexp.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.